Fresh off a win against the top 25 Georgia Bulldogs. Our officials, Courtney Green, Steven Anderson, Vladimir Voyard-Tadal. And here we go from Neville Arena. Texas in the burnt orange, Auburn in the home white. And we are set in front of a sold-out crowd in Auburn.
Well, these are two talented teams, and Auburn may be the hottest team in the conference right now. Texas with some signature wins this season. This should be a good one.
There is Tremont Mark, less than 10 to shoot. Mark has really elevated his play since league play began. As has Keyshawn Murphy ripping down the rebound. Finally healthy over the last 5 games. Auburn has really tracked with his progress. He has been fantastic after dealing with a knee injury earlier on in the year.
Well, the Mississippi State transfer has started to get healthy, and he's been very impactful on both ends of the court for the Tigers.
This is a Texas team that started league play 0-2. Then they went on the road at Alabama, beat the Tide, handed Vandy its first loss of the year. They've had ebbs and flows, in the words of Sean Miller, but coming off arguably their best half of basketball this season. In the final half against Georgia, Cam Heide hitting a 3. That's a good sign.
Really good action right there. And Bocatitis taking it in with the strong drive and an unselfish kick out. Heide locked and loaded.
They missed him in their loss to Kentucky last weekend. And a 3 the other way goes for Kevin Overton, who's hit just 26% from downtown in league play.
It might just be 26%, but this is a confident shooter. And Kevin Overton, he can fill it up when he gets hot.
Keyshawn Murphy with a steal, up ahead to Hall. Took the bump and misses out on a 3-point play opportunity, but will go to the line for 2 shots. Sean Miller had one of the quotes of the year after the loss to Kentucky. He said, "We've got a major foul problem, a virus, and it's gotten in the way at times, Richard, of a lot of things that this team does very well." All that said, though, they went 16 straight minutes in the second half in the win against Georgia without a foul. It can be done for the Longhorns.
In those last 12 minutes of the game for Texas, that was proven to be dominant against the Georgia Bulldogs. This is a team, if they can stay on the court and not foul and not put teams on the free throw line as they put Keyshawn Hall there for 2, it's a totally different ball club.
Kentucky shot 35 free throws in Lexington against Texas last week, won that game. There is Dalen Swain, one of the top scorers and all-around players in the country. Gives it up to Jordan Pope, 5 to shoot. Pope, step back 3. Got it.
That's a beautiful move right there. Just a strong individual effort. You know, that quick jab of his first step you have to respect, and he stepped it back and stroked it from deep.
Todd Pettiford, preseason All-American, running the point for Auburn. Has not shot it particularly well in league play, but boy, has he developed into a fine facilitator. Murphy lost it. Tremont Mark with a strip. And Stephen Pearl said that the win against Florida might have been the best road win he's been a part of in his 11 years at Auburn, both as an assistant coach under his father, Bruce, and now in his first year as the head man.
Well, to go down to Gainesville and get it done was huge for this Tiger team. And this is a confident team that he knows coming in off a 3-game win streak, that he has them motivated to continue to stay hungry. And they know it's very easy to become complacent after a winning streak, but he has his team ready to play in another tough matchup.
They have won 4 out of their last 5. The lone loss over that stretch at Missouri. Murphy sizes up a 3.
Murphy can hit that one, but the hesitation that he gave was the reason he was off on that one.
Cam Heide from downtown, his second.
And without hesitation right there, Heide, very decisive, catches that ball with his feet set, and a beautiful stroke from downtown.
3 early triples by the Longhorns. They lead it by 4.
Texas is doing a really good job defensively in the gaps, making things challenging. Auburn's got to get the ball moving from side to side.
Pettiford off the pull-up, no. Rebound, Vokatitis. Mark off the line with a catch-and-shoot three. Keyshawn Hall has been fantastic this year, having the best season of his career, despite the fact that he led the Big 12 last season in scoring. And Mark picks his pocket. Back the other way, a pick six for Texas.
Phenomenal defensive work by Texas. They're doing a great job of showing bodies when Keyshawn Hall gets the ball. Stunning at him in the gaps, understanding where he is, and Mark with the steal and the easy deuce.
Pettiford probing inside. Williams-Adams left it short. Last touch by Heide. And it'll stay here. Boy, Texas with a hot start, an 8-0 run for the Longhorns.
Well, the Texas Longhorn defense is connected, and Tremont Mark, there he is, reading the defense perfectly, and he gets that steal for the easy breakaway dunk. Longhorns in the lead on the road.
Exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by DQ. Happy tastes good. The last time Texas men's basketball came to the Plains, 1911. How about that sweater in the front row? The block tee?
The captain's sweater.
Fantastic.
It's great stuff.
This is what happened in the year 1911. The South Pole was discovered. Chevy and IBM were founded. The first movie studio opened in Hollywood. The Indianapolis 500 ran its first race, and St. John's won the national title with a record of 14-0. I think Texas is running a little bit of a different offense now under Sean Miller than they might have been during the black and white days of 1911.
Yeah, maybe a little bit. They seem to have an offensive flow early on in their return to the Plains.
Pettiford floater, no. Rebound, rip down, swing. Pettiford won it back. Auburn with a fresh 25. Hall step through, kick out to Freeman. Knocks down the open three.
That's beautiful work right there. Keyshawn Hall with his supreme level of creativity. The flashy dribble created that opportunity to kick it out. And there you see Elijah Freeman with the stroke.
5 combined threes to start for these two teams. Modest Vokatitis, first touch. Had it jarred loose by Kevin Overton and one back for the Tigers.
Auburn was successful on the defensive end in their last outing against Florida. And you can see that they're starting to grow into their defensive identity and being well connected early on. Vokatitis, much larger player, but you see Overton standing strong in the low post.
That's what Stephen Pearl said has been the catalyst for this 3-game win streak. They haven't shot it particularly well. Overton almost banked in a 3, but it's been the defense, the free throw shooting that have spurred them to wins. Meanwhile, Pope knocks down the 4th 3 of the game for Texas. Longhorns averaging over 86 points per game. It's the most since the mid-90s. Double on Hall. Pettiford extra pass. Under 10 to shoot for Auburn. Freeman with 5. Freeman stepped through, contact no call, and wrestled away by Kendall Weaver, who's playing his best basketball of the season.
Well, you see the defensive scheme so far for Texas. They're trying to make sure that Keyshawn Hall is not the player to beat him. If you're Hall, you're going to have some quick escape dribble moves to get your shot off against the double team.
Pope relocates, Long with the 3. Weaver tracks it down, saves the Swain. Ball did not draw iron, 5 to shoot. And Pope lost it with a travel. 4th Texas turnover. You mentioned the defense, defending the gaps. What Stephen Pearl told us is we've defended with desperation. Told his team we have to be desperate after their loss against Missouri if we want a chance to play in March, and they've since rattled off 3 in a row.
Well, the defense starts with an attitude, and this is a talented team that started 0-2 in conference play. And Stephen Pearl has been able to regroup this roster. They've been able to get healthy. They're inspired, and they're playing top-notch ball right now.
Jovic, come on. What a move. Just didn't get the finish. Mark up ahead to Weaver, walled off by Jovic. Bit of a line change here for Texas. Traore into the game, Weaver into the game, as is Wilcher for the first time. Swain still scoreless until now. Dead away with a 3, the 5th for Texas.
And you see the skill set of Dalen Swain. He had a good look. He gave it up, backed out with the isolation on Jovic, and went to work.
Texas has been a pretty good three-point shooting team this season, a little over 34% tonight, 62% from beyond the arc to start in the midst of a 14-3 run.
This is where Swain wants the ball. He was able to operate in the rhythm in the last possession.
Mark, baseline through contact, no. Jovic comes away with it. Here's Kevin Overton. Pettiford, knifing, draws a foul. Second trip to the line for Auburn.
Oh, it's been Texas from deep range, and you see the skilled wing of Dalen Swain. He lines that one up and knocks it down from the outside. Texas up early.
And the Auburn Creed inspires us with a spirit that is not afraid as we tackle the world's greatest challenges. Through excellence, innovation, and hard work, we create intelligent systems, resilient communities, and a safer, healthier tomorrow. And while grounded in a rich set of traditions, our groundbreaking approach motivates us to dream the biggest dreams. Join us at Auburn and be forever changed.
The best conference in women's gymnastics.
SEC Gymnastics, all season long on SEC Network and the ESPN app.
Texas is 5 for 8 shooting from the three-point line, and they got it done in many ways. The extra pass being locked and loaded from the outside. Beautiful individual step back to create the space, and the isolation moves for the Texas Longhorns. They've been filling it up from deep early on.
Currently the last team in the field of 68 according to Joe Lunardi, but it's changed almost daily for Sean Miller's team. After the loss to Kentucky, they were outside looking in. His team was down 7 against Georgia over the weekend, and at that point Sean Miller told his team, this is the moment of truth for us. We have to show something in the second half if we want to be a March team. And credit to them, Richard, they won that game by 20.
Well, Sean Miller is an experienced coach, and he's been there before, and he knows he has a talented team. It's taken a little bit of time to gel and find their chemistry, but they have all of the pieces to be there in the end. In a wide open SEC, a steal on the inbounds on an errant pass.
That's the 5th Texas turnover, and that was completely unforced. Auburn has not hit a field goal in over 3.5 minutes, yet they trail by just 7. Thanks to a 4-for-4 start from the foul line. Hall lost it out of bounds. Last touch by Mark. It'll stay here with 11.
Well, just a total lapse of concentration for Texas and an easy turnover. And you can see.
No shortage of expressions on the Texas sideline. Nice move by Williams-Adams. That's 4 straight points for Auburn.
And a really good move right there as the freshman Sebastian Williams-Adams muscles that one home. And that's a big bucket for Auburn. They need to get some things going offensively.
Lob pass inside to Vokatitis. And the man who leads the nation in fouls drawn is headed to the line for the first time tonight for the Longhorns.
Vocatitis is a player that loves the physicality. He's going to look to duck in every single possession down the court. He sets strong screens, and he tries to finish through the contact. And here he is finding himself shooting two.
There aren't many big men in college basketball this year who have improved as much as Modest Vocatitis. That's not just coming from his head coach, but the opponent's head coach tonight. Stephen Pearl really impressed with the development of Texas's big man transferring over from FAU.
Oh, he's a talented player, and he was very, very impactful last year at FAU. And here he is in Texas, but he comes from Lithuania, a country that's known for basketball. It's in the DNA in that country, and he's showing what he can really do.
Heide steps into a three, his third, and the Purdue transfer on fire to start tonight in Auburn.
Wow. And Cam Heide locked and loaded with so much confidence. He's without any hesitation catching that ball, and he's letting it fly.
Inside Williams, Adams draws a foul on Heide. Well, coming up at 9 Eastern here on ESPN2, we will send you to Houston at TCU. Cougars freshman Kingston Flemings had 42 on Saturday against Texas Tech, though in a losing effort. Tech snapping an 11-game win streak for Houston.
Talented player and another strong Kelvin Sampson Cougar team. You know they're going to defend. A team that this Auburn team took down to the wire with an opportunity to beat early on in the season. One of the big first tests for Stephen Pearl. That was the moment that you could see that Auburn is a legit team as they took them down to the wire.
Probably could have won that game had they not missed double-digit free throws.
And had many opportunities to close that out at the end of the game. Auburn extending this defensive pressure, switching on these ball screen actions.
Mark. Oh, it looked like he might have traveled. Instead, the ball loose on the deck. Mark picks it up. There's a whistle. And it'll stay here with Texas. Right here, Mark goes up. And I guess they ruled that he lost control of the basketball, but the Auburn fans felt like he jumped with it and came down with it. Regardless, a fresh 20 for Texas. Five to shoot for Dalen Swain. Pulls up from three and knocks it in. The seventh Texas triple.
That's a big shot right there for Dalen Swain. But if you're Keyshawn Murphy, you got to know you're at the end of the shot clock. He's got to rise up for the tray ball, anticipate that contest early, and make him have a counter move on a short clock.
Largest deficit of the first half for Auburn. Less than 9.5 to go. And a foul underneath against Texas.
Well, the end of the shot clock, and Dalen Swain gets into that rhythm dribble, and he rocks Keyshawn Murphy and rises right up into a three-pointer. It's the little moments like that defensively when you're Auburn that you're trying to get a stop, that you have to press up into your man and run him off the line and force him into a counter, as opposed to a rhythm three that he's already been successful on early on.
Catch and shoot, Pettiford short with a three, and a foul on Freeman, sort of shoving the Texas rebounder out of the way.
Well, Pettiford a little rushed on that baseline out of bounds opportunity. A great design play to get him freed up. I think he had a little bit more time to set his feet.
That has been the Achilles heel of this Auburn team in league play, shooting 26% from three. They've overcome it with great defense in the midst of this three-game win streak. Texas tonight, though, has had their way offensively. And Swain continues it, getting to his spots with ease, Richard.
You see the talent that he has, and that was really good defense right there by Williams Adams. But just better offense as he was able to get to his spot and elevate over the top.
Freeman kept his footing, somehow tippy-toed past defenders and laid it in. Pass by Mark, now the 6th Texas turnover.
Credit the offense, the Auburn defense right there. Keyshawn Murphy did a really good job showing flat, but with activity on that ball screen, and that little bit of defensive pressure created the turnover. If you're Auburn, you got to get things going in this half-court set offensively.
Just 4 for 14 from the field to start for the Tigers.
Oh, Texas is doing a really good job of stunning in the gaps. Anytime Auburn gets ready to drive, you have defenders stunning to muddy it up. And there's a big bucket right there by Tahad Pettiford when they needed it.
Pope with 5. Traore with 2. Mark's got a heave. And a good defensive set by Auburn. Here comes Pettiford. Kevin Overton, one of the most experienced players in the SEC. NCAA tournament runs with Texas Tech and Drake. Gives it up to Keyshawn Murphy. Through 2 bodies and draws a foul on Texas. Sean Miller doesn't like it. 5th on the Longhorns. Auburn going back to the foul line when we come back, down 10 at home. A lot of change on the Plains this offseason, including most notably at the head coaching position. Stephen Pearl taking over for his father, Bruce. 10 new players, 9 of them underclassmen, led, though, by Keyshawn Hall, a veteran of college basketball. Last year's leading scorer in the Big 12. He's been as advertised this year. Their defense, which did not start as their strength, Richard, has become a strength during their 3-game win streak. They are as battle-tested as any team in the country. A top 10 strength of schedule, and right now, according to Joe Lunardi, on the 7 line in the most recent NCAA tournament projections.
Well, they're starting to play their best basketball and settling down. And this particular game, maybe not getting it done as far as being disruptive defensively against Texas, as they've been very efficient, but a lot of time left, and this Auburn team finishes very strong.
That is just the 2nd miss at the foul line by Keyshawn Murphy over the last 2.5 games. During their 3-game win streak, they have shot 82% from the line. It's helped them overcome some of the shooting woes, which they've experienced again tonight. Just 5 of 15 from the floor. Meanwhile, Texas shooting 60%. Jordan Pope, step back deep 2. Boy, they cannot miss.
No, he's on fire. And the patience at which he came off that screen roll action set it up as he took his time, had a little bit of space and shot it confidently.
Still just 1 shot attempt for Auburn's leading scorer, Keyshawn Hall. Just a shade over 6 minutes to play in the first half. Swain, no. Vokalaitis draws a foul on the rebound attempt. That is number 3 on Auburn.
Might have been fouled while he was trying to tip it in. Oh, they've called, they're going to say that this is going to be on the baseline out of bounds.
Swain into Vokatitis, and he stepped. Well, no, yes, he did step out of bounds. Well, that's what Texas thought. Texas thought he stepped out of bounds. Stephen Pearl thought it's Auburn basketball. Instead, last touch by Kevin Overton, it appears. Right? Boy, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know if it was anything, but at least the ball going back to Texas, but with a short clock situation.
Deep three, Pope. And here comes Pettiford on the run out. Blow by, swatted at the rim by Weaver, back the other way.
A lot of contact on that last drive in transition by Pettiford.
And Pope draws a foul on Pettiford.
Now the crowd is letting them hear it, as you see. Last couple of possessions to Hod Pettiford, going all the way, and a lot of contact there on the hand on that finish. As they missed one right there on a foul on Weaver.
Texas worked a lot today on defending without fouling. It has been a point of emphasis for a team that ranks 321st in fouls per game. Late in the timer again, this time Swain. Pope left open. Floater, could not bank it in. Was there a whistle in there? There was a whistle right there. And you can hear how the folks at Neville Arena feel about it. And Stephen Pearl, I believe, was teed up. I beg your pardon, it was Kevin Overton who was teed up. We're having a difficult time hearing anything that's going on because this building is juiced.
Yes, it
tonight.
is. And the crowd is making sure to let their feelings be heard. Not a lot of contact on that last attempt in the paint.
Standing room only crowd at Neville Arena. Williams Adams stole it, but was fouled by Dalen Swain. Auburn has lost just one game in this building this year. It was to a very good, and at the time, top 10 ranked Purdue team, who of course returns plenty of pieces from deep March Madness runs from over the years.
It's been a very difficult venue to play in for opponents at Neville Arena. The jungle is live right now, trying to get a little bit of life in it for Auburn. This is a big possession here. You find yourself down by 13 points. The momentum is going in the way of Texas. You want to see if you can run your stuff and get a clean look.
Pettiford. Floater left short. Vokatitis fighting for it. And the big man could not keep it in bounds. It'll stay here with 20 to shoot for Auburn.
Just a high degree of difficulty on that shot by Tahad Pettiford. Driving in with his left hand and floating through the lane and shoots it back with his right. And if you're Keyshawn Hall, you're going to have to be decisive when you get the ball. As Texas has shown a lot of bodies.
Hall rejected. That was just his second shot attempt of the first half. You got to think if they're going to chip away here, he has to be a big part of it, as he has been all year.
Well, it's the defensive scheme. You can see right there where Dalen Swain shaded him to go to his right hand. He's a lefty player, and when he gets the ball, the defense is loaded up. You got to be quick with your decisions and get to your spots and rise up.
Splits the double. Left hand won't go. A lot of contact. He's down behind the play. Here comes Dalen Swain. And Weaver stepped out of bounds. 8 turnovers on Texas.
The unforced turnovers for Texas in this game. And without those, you only wonder what this lead could be so far.
And for Keyshawn Hall, he was so instrumental in Auburn building a 15-point first-half lead on the road at Florida. Tonight he's been quiet. Kevin Overton, however, has 2 made threes.
When Keyshawn Hall is down, someone else for Auburn is going to have to pick him up. And Kevin Overton can get hot quick with a big basket.
Second foul on Filip Jovic. And that will put Texas in the bonus for the rest of the first half.
Boca Titus, he draws these fouls at a high clip, and there he is. If you get your hand stuck in there, he does a really good job of selling it. As you can see, Jovic with a few choice words about the call. I believe they were in Serbian.
Cam Heide, great effort, last touch by Williams-Adams. So Heide has had one of his best halves of the year. 3 for 3 from beyond the arc. And that was a great rebound effort to win it back for Texas. They really missed him in the road loss at Kentucky last week. He was in the starting lineup. And then right before tip-off, a late scratch. He was dealing with a stomach bug, vomiting all first half. They barely had him in the game. Came back but wasn't himself in the win against Georgia. Williams-Adams took the bump and lays it in.
2 big steals by Williams-Adams as he's reading that baseline out of bounds play and getting off in the other end. Texas is going to have to shore some things up on their strategy on inbounding.
Swain with the crowd silencer.
Tough.
And Courtney Green has had enough of the back and forth between Jovic and Vukatitis. Hotly contested first half on the Plains.
Well, these teams have been going out, and Dalen Swain has been showing off with some major league moves.
Have allowed Auburn to sort of hang around, down 10 with 3.5 minutes to go.
Yeah, I agree with the coaches. They've definitely had some self-inflicted wounds. Now they're coming out showing a little 2-3 zone.
Great feed inside to Jovic with authority.
That's beautiful work by Auburn. They didn't come out surprised by the change of defense. The recognition early on in Jovic finding himself in the soft spot for the slam.
Defensive pressure has turned up a notch for Auburn, extending well past the 3-point line. It has been their calling card in the midst of this 3-game win streak. Mark off the line. Hall spot up 3. And Jovic and Vukatitis have been going at it all night long. And Vukatitis with the foul on the rebound.
And this is what Jovic does. He has tremendous activity under the boards. You can see him fighting. There's the hook and the little extra from Vukatitis as these 2 guys getting tangled up.
And they are going
play is under review.
to review this common foul. And again, Sean Miller has talked about it a lot with Vukatitis. He does draw a lot of fouls, but he also commits a lot of them as well.
This one could be potentially upgraded. A lot of contact here. You see a little bit of a hook and hold, a little bit of extra on this kick that you see right there, and then finishes with a step on the hand. A lot of activity. But I tell you, more so than anything, Vukatitis is a very talented and a big guy down low. He does a lot of grabbing to draw fouls, but if he utilizes his technique and uses his hips to block out, then he won't have to get tangled up top, and it'll make him a much better rebounder.
The crowd here at Neville Arena just saw the slow-mo replay on the Jumbotron. Our officiating crew, Courtney Green, Steven Anderson, Vladimir Voyard-Tadal, appear to have come to a decision.
I think it definitely was a hook by Vukatitis. We'll see what this crew decides when they sort it all out.
We've already had one tech in this game.
The previous foul has been upgraded to an F1 on number 8. Auburn will be shooting 2 free throws and will get the ball on the baseline with a 20-second shot clock.
So we had a tech on Auburn earlier in the first half for some extracurricular activity after a call did not go their way, and now an F1 on Vokatitis for some extracurriculars on a rebound effort.
Yeah, and you can see the hook. And Jovic is a really good offensive rebounder. But in this situation, for two young bigs going at it, it's a moment to use your technique to be a better rebounder. They're both grappling up top, trying to get position. Bend your knees, use your hips, route the defender or the offensive player out under from beneath the goal, and then explode up and pull the board with 2 hands.
Vokatitis foul trouble was an issue against Georgia. He exited the first half with 7 minutes and change to play and did not return. Only played 23 minutes in the win against Georgia. They got him back, of course, in the second half, and the rest was history. But he is on the bench now with 2 fouls. 2:40 to go in the first half. Auburn down 8.
It'll be impactful for Texas, and this is a big opportunity for Auburn. Missed the 2 free throws, but a lot of time to close into this lead.
Pettiford knocks down a 3.
There's a big shot right there by Tahad Pettiford, making this one a 5-point game. And the building is letting them know.
And there's a hook underneath on Williams-Adams. To the line go the Longhorns.
Well, a big basket when Auburn taking advantage of the extra opportunity to step back. Jay going to his right for Tahad Pettiford. That's a really good shot for him. He becomes a much better shooter from the outside when he's on balance. And with the lefty shooter stepping back to the right, I think it creates more space for him to be efficient.
Thursday night over on ESPN, a fantastic women's basketball doubleheader. Number 12 TCU taking on Kansas. Number 7 Louisville at Stanford. The Cards of Louisville have won 12 in a row. One of 2 remaining unbeatens in the ACC. The other is Duke, as Lucina Traore makes them both. Texas responding. Up 35-28, 2 minutes to go in the opening half.
So they got to give space to Keyshawn Hall. When you bring bodies into the fold, it's going to come out of his hands.
Overton tries. Left-hand scoop is good.
Really good job, Kevin Overton, with a decisive dribble drive. As soon as he caught that ball, he gave a quick drab towards the baseline and drove it toward the middle with a lot of spirit.
Swain step through and a kiss off the window again, silencing this capacity crowd.
That was tough. You talk about on an isolation situation, takes his time, steps through with the left hand off the glass with touch.
Still no made field goals tonight for Hall. Mark keeps it in bounds for Texas. Less than 60 seconds to go in the opening frame.
It's a big moment right here for Texas. You got an opportunity to potentially go 2 for 1, and you can go into the half really making it difficult on Auburn with a lead.
Back out Swain, 5 to shoot, contested 3, knocks it in. Dalen Swain with a game-high 15.
My goodness.
Shot clock turned off for Tahad Pettiford. Hall, Auburn's leading scorer with just 2 points until now. 4-point play opportunity for the 3rd leading scorer in the SEC.
You can't keep a good man down. And Keyshawn Hall has struggled to get a shot attempt, but there he is coming off that screen roll action. He lines it up, gets hit in the elbow, and going to the line for 4.
We'll be back in 30 seconds. Where he left off.
He's been giving it to Auburn every way that you want it. And beautiful moves, and another beautiful move from another skilled wing player. Keyshawn Hall with the big bucket just when Auburn needed it most.
That was his first made field goal of the game. His previous 2 points had come at the foul line, where he is back now to try and complete a 4-point play.
Well, credit has to go to Texas in the defensive scheme in which they've been guarding him. They've been muddying things up in the driving lanes and also throwing double teams at him. If you're Keyshawn Hall, you have to be decisive with when you get the ball, make quick escape dribbles to the space, and then rise up and stick a jumper.
7.5 seconds to go before the end of the half. Swain with a game-high 15. Draws a foul on Pettiford of the 3-point variety.
Man, talk about in your bag. And listen, the poise and the presence of mind. He takes a peek at the shot clock, and there he is. The pump fake takes a little bit of contact, and he's going to the line to shoot for 3. Just a savvy player who's playing unbelievable in the first half.
Rare miss at the line for Swain, who shot at 76% from the stripe this year.
Well, this last 50 seconds of this half, and both of these teams that have opportunities to really create some momentum moving into the second. With that last foul for Swain, it puts Pettiford with an extra foul to soften up the defense and potential more momentum for the Longhorns.
His second foul. Swain makes the back pair. Texas led by as many as 14. Auburn offense picked up. They now trail 42-34 at home, where they've lost just once this year. Fellas, I don't know if you can feel it back in the studio, but my goodness, Neville Arena is jumping tonight. Zubin, take it away. 15 Auburn first half points kept the Tigers in it in front of a capacity crowd. Hi again, everybody. Matt Schumacher, the former Alabama big man, Richard Hendricks, and we are glad to have you with us courtside. Richard, first half, excellent shooting by Texas, yet Auburn is still in it. Dalen Swain, though, was the star.
Well, he's been very efficient, 6 for 7 from the shooting, and the way he's been getting his buckets. You talk about a high degree of difficulty. When he gets his guys on an island, he's been able to size his man up and use beautiful moves to be effective for the Texas Longhorns.
Dalen Swain with 17 points on 6 of 7 shooting. He was perfect from 3, chipped in 5 rebounds. He has averaged over 27 points per game over their last 2. Texas's leading scorer. Longhorns coming off a major ranked win against Georgia over the weekend. All kinds of momentum early, now trying to sustain, and a nice feed inside to Modest Vokatitis.
That's beautiful hollow action right there for Texas. Auburn tried to have a little bit more effort on the defensive end with their pressure, but a really good job by Texas.
A foul on Texas on the Auburn drive. We had plenty of those in the first half. First on Tremont Mark. However, Jordan Pope and Modest Vokatitis each have 2 for Texas. Pettiford and Jovic have a pair for Auburn. Auburn Tigers riding a 3-game win streak, including a pair of road victories at Ole Miss, at Florida, snapping the Gators' 5-game win streak. Hadn't won in Gainesville in 30 years.
Arguably the hottest team in the conference right now. A wide open field, and Auburn's been playing good basketball, but this is a talented Texas team that has shown their ability. You can see these two bigs getting tangled up Titus and Murphy. And it's a lot of physicality down low.
If you're just joining us and you did not watch the first half, there was a lot of emotion boiling over after some of the foul calls. It seems early. We've had 3 fouls called in less than 60 seconds. Officials trying to keep reins on this game.
Well, Titus can really draw fouls, and quite frankly, a lot of them he initiates the contact, and then the reaction comes. There he able to get into Keyshawn Murphy, and the foul was called. But this is a situation where both of these teams are going to have to keep their composure, particularly Auburn in an emotional game.
Titus wins back the offensive board. Through the double team, draws a foul on Overton, and that is number 2 on the junior from Oklahoma City.
There you see that physicality by Titus. Active on the boards. Every single possession when you're guarding him, it's going to be a wrestling match.
And I beg your pardon, that is the 3rd foul on Overton. And now decision time for Stephen Pearl. And it's an easy decision. He sends Overton to the bench. Elijah Freeman comes on for the Tigers. Hall, Auburn's leading scorer, one of the top offensive players in the SEC, had just 5 points in the first half. That type of move will help, getting right to the cup.
That was a strong move, and he sized up the defense, and a strong dribble drive jumping into the body of the defender. He's going to have to really get it going offensively.
Just his 2nd made field goal of the night. Here's Jordan Pope, stripped by Hall, and a foul. And Stephen Pearl's got to be careful. His team has already picked up 1 tech arguing a foul call.
Yeah, that one looked like all ball right there. And Stephen Pearl has a case as Keyshawn Hall was able to reach in there. But a foul called nonetheless on Auburn. These are the moments, if you Auburn, you have a few calls that you feel that you disagree with. You have to continue to play through it. 18 and a half to go in the game. A lot of ball game left.
Tremont Mark, less than 5 to shoot. Steps it through Freeman. Stephen Pearl wanted to travel, won't get it. And it's back to a 10-point Texas lead.
You want to credit that basket also to Traore. He did a really good job there holding his seal, which created that alley for Mark to get all the way to the basket.
Hall over the top of Mark, drills it from 3, his 2nd of the game.
Well, Auburn started to make a little bit of adjustment when Keyshawn Hall gets the ball. They're giving him the isolation on the whole side, which doesn't allow Texas to load up and come over with the double team, and he's been able to deliver one-on-one.
Swain off the bounce. Fancy footwork, won't go. Well defended by Williams-Adams.
Really strong defense.
Hall back the other way. Draws a foul on Texas.
You can see this isolation game of Keyshawn Hall. And he just rides it up right over the top with a lot of confidence on that stroke. The 3rd leading scorer in the conference, really starting to heat up.
Hall, crossover, step back, got it from downtown. Oh yeah! Foul on Traore, his 3rd.
You can see the Auburn crowd is in it, letting Keyshawn Hall know He's doing a tremendous job, and he's doing it all with these individual efforts. And he struggled early on, but the adjustment has been made by Stephen Pearl in this offense, and Auburn back in the game.
Hall. He checked three. Freeman rebound. Put back won't go. Williams-Adams won it back for Auburn. Last touch by Texas.
That was a tremendous rebound right there by Elijah Freeman.
Dating back to the final seconds of the first half, Keyshawn Hall has 12 of the last Auburn 13 points. Williams-Adams just misses out on a three-point play opportunity.
Sebastian Williams-Adams, he's been a bull in this game, and his spirited decision-making on the defensive end gave him some easy looks offensively, and here he is, gets the basketball, gets his body right into the defender and draws the foul.
Well, coming up at 9 Eastern right here on ESPN2. Top 10 Houston at TCU. The Big 12 has been equally as entertaining this year as the SEC. Every night a battle, no lead, seemingly safe. Texas led by as many as 14. Felt like at one point they could blow the lid off this game in the opening 10 minutes. Hit 8 first half threes. And yet Auburn on a 7-0 run has it back to one possession.
And look at Williams-Adams moving his feet against the guard. Phenomenal. Look at him.
Pope can't get free.
Wow. Listen, that's a play right there. If you're Stephen Pearl, you're going right to your team in the film session. And so this is the way you have to guard. You got a freshman at 6'8", 230 pounds, switched off on a shifty guard, and he comes up with the stop.
Pettiford off the back iron, Swain with a rebound. Texas's leading scorer still scoreless in the second half. Heide rejected. 5 to shoot. And Swain ends a 2.5-minute Texas scoring drought. He's up to 20.
He's hit a couple of silencers. And just the poise that he's able to do it with the crowd in the building and the team needing a big bucket. You just give it to number 3 in the burnt orange.
Picked by Weaver. Now he loses it. Pettiford on the floor. Swain comes away with it. Can't back it in. Heide there for the putback.
That is just a terrific level of effort by Texas. And Weaver getting on the deck. And the rest of the Longhorns following up that transition possession with the tip in.
Every second of this game has been played with intensity and physicality. Freeman kick out. Pettiford off the bounce. Last touch by Texas. Side out with 12 to shoot. Keyshawn Hall, just one made bucket in the first half. Second half has started a different way for the SEC third leading scorer, and Dalen Swain remains in his bag. 20 points for Texas's leading scorer on the road. He's at his 4th school during his collegiate career. He's gone through a major body transformation. When he was at UNLV as a freshman, reports indicated he was between 280 and 295 pounds. He's since lost somewhere around 70 pounds. Richard playing in the best shape of his life here at Auburn.
But what he hasn't lost is a strength. And you talk about strength from the outside. It's Kevin Overton knocking down another big tray ball for the Tigers.
Overton in double figures with 11 after his 3rd three. 52-47 Texas, led by as many as 14 in the first half. Heide, his first miss from downtown. He was 3 for 3 in the opening frame, but a foul on Auburn. Trying to track down the rebound. It'll keep it here with Texas.
Heide wanting a foul on that one, but I think a little bit too deep on the range on that last shot. And a baseline out of bounds opportunity here for Texas. Many of the plays, they've just been inbounding and going right into their screen roll on the side of the court. Let's see if you can dial something up to get a clean look.
3 fouls now on Philip Jovic and Kevin Overton, both remain in the game for Auburn. Mark. Inside Vokatanis, stripped by Jovic.
Really good activity there by Jovic. He made sure to dig down, coming up with that steal. Excellent.
Pettiford, deep kick. Overton relocates and knocks in a three. 52-50 from Auburn.
Wow. Talk about it.
Timeout, Texas. Texas tonight, Richard, they trail by as many as 14, but their defense in the second half has elevated to another level.
Or they've held Texas to 44% shooting and 2 steals in the second half, and their steals have been leading to easy buckets headed the other way. The offense is rolling because the ball is moving around, and Auburn has found themselves right back in this ball game.
Couple of big Kevin Overton threes. He is in double figures with 14. Playing with 3 fouls, as is Philip Jovic. Inside Mark, through contact, left hand won't go, got his own miss. Second effort won't go, rebound Pettiford. A chance for Auburn to take the lead. Pettiford is fouled hard. It is I believe on Kendall Weaver, or perhaps on Tremont Mark. Still awaiting official word from the scores table, but nonetheless, the 5th team foul on Texas, and in fact, the 3rd foul on Mark.
There's Auburn trying to get into their flex action, but they go into an isolation. And start to see a little bit of the chess match as Keyshawn Hall has come out here in the second half on fire. And Texas is trying to get the ball out of their hands, loading up and double teaming. He tried to find Jovic right there on that last cut. These are the little subtle adjustments that have to be made.
First foul on Weaver, 1 more. Auburn is in the bonus the rest of the game. Still almost 13 minutes to play. Freeman, step back good. We're tied at 52. 8-0 Auburn run over the last minute and a half. Weaver catch and shoot and silences this crowd of 9,100 and frustrates the living heck out of Stephen Pearl.
Both of these teams are starting to find a little bit of rhythm offensively. The ball is moving from side to side, and they're finding some good options as the defense tries to settle in.
Hall was fouled on the pass, and now Auburn is in the 1-and-1. Number 2 on Kendall Weaver. Boy, Texas three-point shooting tonight has been something to behold. Nearly 60% from downtown on 10 of 17. It's why they jumped out to a double-digit lead early, but credit to Auburn, they have just hung around in this game. And Keyshawn Hall catching fire at the right time.
And the Auburn three-point shooting, 9 for 17 for the Tigers. They started to pick up the pace with it and gotten them back in this ball game.
Shooting well above their season average, particularly in SEC play where they have struggled. Shooting just 26%, but tonight over 52. 1-point game from Neville Arena. 12 minutes to go. And what has been a highly contested SEC bout.
Auburn's trying to help off of Weaver. as they're trying to play a little bit of rover down low. Well, this is a game that's going to come down to some chess match decisions. Both of these teams are changing some things up defensively. And you can see the savvy Keyshawn Hall once again drawing a foul. He'll be back in the free throw line in a minute when you come back to the action in the jungle.
ESPN, Tennessee and Georgia coming down to the wire on the SEC network. ESPNU and the ACC network also rolling tonight. Next year on ESPN2, what can Kingston Flemings do for an encore? Coming off a 42-point performance in a loss in Lubbock. They're in Fort Worth tonight, guys.
Zubin, it seems like every game in the SEC comes down to the wire. This one might too, although it didn't start looking that way. Texas led by as many as 14. Auburn did not start the game shooting well, but 18 points off 11 Texas turnovers kept the Tigers in the fight and ultimately helped them get this three-point lead, their largest of the game. Swain out of the timeout with his second bucket of the half.
And it's the poise in which he gets them. He's had multiple baskets in this game at the end of the shot clock. And he just has that presence of mind of where he is on the floor and the confidence to finish.
How about Hall with that confidence? So much of his scoring has come in the second half. After a quiet first 20, he has 12 so far this half.
Well, they're putting him in action where he's using that strong left-hand drive to get right where he wants. Your Texas got to run him off his spots.
Tremont Mark back into the game for the Longhorns, playing with 4 fouls. Almost picked by Pettiford. 5 to shoot. Hall drew the bump. And if that's on Jordan Pope, it is. That's number 3 on the Texas point guard. Keyshawn Hall early in this game was quiet offensively. In fact, his first made field goal came with less than 8 minutes to go in the first half. He has found something though, Richard, and so have the Auburn Tigers.
Texas is loading up their defense at him, but a lot of the credit has to go to Kevin Overton. He's been able to hit a lot of big shots that's forced Texas to play honest, and when you got to play one-on-one against Hall, it makes it very difficult.
Texas three-point shooting has not been what it was in the first half. They hit 8 on 14 tries. In the second half, just 2 of 8. Many more contested shots defensively from the Auburn Tigers.
This one, if you're Pettiford, you got to let it fly. Get ready to shoot. Much more difficult at the end of the shot clock.
Deep 3.
He had an opportunity to get a clean look off the pass and settled for a much higher degree of difficulty.
Lob, Vokatitis, too easy, uncontested at the rim.
And he did a good job of catching that ball and keeping it high as the weak side rotation was coming over to reject that one. That's a huge basket right there for Texas.
Back to a three-point game. Still no Filip Jovic for Auburn. Back to the 3. Keyshawn Murphy. Straight away. Timeout. Stephen Pearl. We will step aside for 30 seconds. Good one coming down to the wire from Neville Arena.
Does he do this every time?
Ever since the biscuits got bigger.
Here comes the big ending.
Bigger biscuits, crescents, and cinnamon rolls.
Paradise. doesn't always have palm trees. Corona, La Playa awaits.
The 39th annual WWE Royal Rumble is set for Saturday in Saudi Arabia. Cody Rhodes will be there, streaming exclusively with the ESPN Unlimited plan live or on demand using the ESPN app. At times tonight, it has looked like a WWE wrestling match.
Yeah, they've been rumbling in the jungle here, down low under the boards. You know, with 5 minutes and 10 seconds to go in the game, I only expect the intensity to increase.
Logo 3. Tracked down by Murphy, who just banked in a triple to give Auburn its largest lead at 6.
Keyshawn Murphy taking that wide open look. He said, "You're not going to guard me. I'm going to stand here and line one up from the top."
They have shot so much better from 3 tonight than they have traditionally in SEC play this year. And Hall draws a foul on Swain. That's number 3. On Texas's lead man.
That's a savvy job right there by Keyshawn Hall. Texas did a really good job of forcing him to his weak hand, but that deceleration before he released the ball threw off the timing of Texas, and he draws the foul with the knock on the wrist.
Hall has lived at the line tonight per usual. 9 for 11 from the stripe. He leads the nation in free throw makes with over 140 this year.
Texas found some success in that high-low action to Vocatitis.
Pope wanted to get it to him, but he was walled off by Williams-Adams. Swing now with less than 10 to shoot. Spins through a double. Lays it in with the push. 72-66 Auburn.
Just a gorgeous move. The ability that he's able to create some separation and get that shot off the top. Phenomenal.
An elite small forward matchup here. Hall and Swain. Hall, step through. Just missing out on a three-point play opportunity. Picks up the 3rd foul on Vocatitis. Fouls mounting. Both teams in the bonus the rest of the way. We expect a tight finish from the jungle.
I'm Zubin here in the studio. Nate, amen. Giving Tennessee a little breathing room in Athens.
Well, he's absolutely hard to guard when you're on top of him. You can't leave him wide open like that. Big jumper.
1-point game over on the SEC network. Coach Greenberg, Emmanuel Sharp in Houston's in Fort Worth next.
Emmanuel Sharp's as good a leader as there is in college basketball. He is the heartbeat of this Houston team. Kingston Flemings might be the soul, though.
No doubt. He had 42 on Saturday. Houston, guys, hasn't lost back-to-back games in 2 years. It's next.
Zubin, you saying a 1-point lead is breathing room is so quintessential SEC basketball this year because there is no breathing room, Richard Hendricks, in this league. No undefeated teams left. Everybody separated by a game or two, all chasing the Aggies of A&M.
Yeah, and Texas A&M has gotten out of the gate with a nice lead. But I tell you, it's a lot of basketball play, and a lot of these teams are right behind in the chase.
22 games in this league so far decided by 5 points or fewer. That's tied for the 3rd most in the history of this conference at the end of January. Meanwhile, Keyshawn Hall with his 12th 20-point performance. Tremont Mark remains on the bench for Texas with 4 fouls. Filip Jovic on the bench for Auburn with 4 fouls. Largest lead of the night for the Tigers after trailing by as many as 14 in the first half. Catch and shoot 3. Pope, no. Rebound effort. Overton saved by Hall. Danger zone for Texas here.
Now Texas changing up the defense, going to a 2-3 zone.
Hall doesn't need much room.
Texas has dropped back in that 2-3 zone a few times in this game, and Auburn has done a really good job communicating and recognizing the defense and finding the bucket.
Swain probing kick out.
Excellent defense by the Tigers.
Heide, a deep three, knocks it in. Just the third three of the second half for Texas, and boy, do they need it.
That was a huge shot. You talk about shooting that one from range. A big bucket. Now Texas dropping back in this zone to try to see if they can get a stop. Auburn's done a really good job of getting into the high post and the short corners.
Stephen Pearl intentionally slowing down the pace a bit. Hall, late whistle. He was knocked down after the shot went up. And he's going to the line for three.
See just that little jab step that he makes right there. And see, Keyshawn Hall, he draws a lot of fouls, and he understands how to play the game. And when he holds that follow-through and the extension on it, if he gets a little tap on the elbow, he does a great job of selling it. It's those savvy type moves that he makes as a veteran player to know how to get himself to the line.
36.5% of his points this year have come from the free throw line. Tonight, he is 13 for 15.
Well, all good scorers understand the recipe to be productive. And drawing fouls and making your opponent pay at the line is one of it, a big part. And Keyshawn Hall does it better than anyone.
Swain lost it. A foul was called on Murphy with the reach. The third on the transfer from Mississippi State, and Texas to the line.
And that's one right there. If you're Keyshawn Murphy, you have to maintain your discipline. Now, you're guarding a really good player in Dalen Swain, but you've done a great job defensively. You slide, but that last reach in right there, keep your hands high and force a contest. This is what Stephen Play is saying. What are you doing? You got to keep your discipline in those moments and not reach down on the ball.
$28 for Dalen Swain, 29 for Keyshawn Hall. These two superstar small forwards have treated us tonight. Less than 2 minutes to go on the Plains, and an 8-point lead for Auburn.
They have definitely delivered. Two of the elite small forwards in the country have answered the bell.
Five to shoot for Overton. Baseline pull-up, draws a foul on Heide. That is number 4, and back-to-back on Heide. 5 Texas players with 3 or more fouls.
And the shooting fouls on the jump shots is what it is for this Texas team. And we've talked about their fouling woes. They've had a hard time of not getting in foul trouble, but these particular actions, when Auburn's rising up into their jump shots and they're trying to get a little bit more extension on the contest, the Auburn players are holding their follow-through and drawing the foul.
You and I had a chance to call the Kentucky-Texas game, which was very good for most of the game until the Texas fouls started to pile up. They allowed Kentucky to go 30 from 35 at the foul line. Sean Miller said you just can't win SEC road games when you do that, and tonight Auburn has taken 32 free throws.
It's the same story for the Longhorns.
Draws a foul on Hall. And now he has to be careful.
Man, that was a good call right there. As Jordan Pope on that step back, Jay, he got hit a little bit on the hand. And the crowd doesn't seem to agree with it, but not so surprising. But I do think this was a good call by this officiating crew. There's a little bit of contact on the hand on that follow-through.
Only the second foul on Hall. Texas has not quite gotten to the line with the same regularity as Auburn.
At what point,
8 for 11 in the second half from the stripe.
At what point, if you're Texas, do you jump into some full court pressure? You got a little bit more than a minute to go in the game, and you're going to have to get some more possessions and some turnovers as you're allowing Auburn to take their time and operate in the half court.
Texas's defense, not a turnover-heavy defense. Hall drives, kicks, ball tipped. There's a turnover by Weaver. Pitch back Heidi, transition three, bang! Timeout Sean Miller. His last timeout with 50.6 to go.
That was a big turnover right there for Texas. And Heidi getting on his horse in transition as he's able to get that pass kicked back to him. As you can see, the steal into deflection, but look, trailing behind is Cam Heidi, and he gets right in the shooting pocket and lines it up. And a 5-point game.
At what point do you start to play the foul game if you're Texas with no timeouts remaining?
Well, it's a lot of time in this game at 50 and 6/10 seconds remaining. If you're Texas, you want to get into your pressure right now and see if you can get a trap and another turnover. I would not get into the foul situation just yet, and see if you can play defense right now and get a stop. And then you come down and execute. I would see if I could take a quick two as you're trying to get into the game, as Auburn will try to run you off that three-point line, particularly after you've just had a lot of success on the last possession, drawing a foul from three and knocking down a three. So get a stop, try to get an easy two-pointer, and make this a three-point game.
Auburn in the midst of a 3-game win streak. They have averaged 82% from the line over this 3-game streak. Tonight, they've shot 75%. And they've made some big ones down the stretch.
Oh, the Auburn players in this has got to understand, meet the ball with the expectation that you want it. The press is going to be up by Texas. If you're Texas, know the personnel on the court of who is a really good free throw shooter. You know that Keyshawn Hall has been very efficient at the line, as Auburn looks like they're going to run some type of 4 across set.
Keyshawn Murphy this year has shot just 58%. However, he is 12 for 13 over the last 2 games coming into the night.
Well, you want to play the numbers as he banked in a three-pointer and funneled that ball his way.
Texas foul. Sean Murphy thought it should have been a turnover. Instead, I beg your pardon, Sean Miller. And he wants a review. But the officials are not going to review this, it doesn't appear.
But he doesn't have any timeouts.
Right. Well, it hit Sean Miller.
Oh, wow. That was a close one as Miller was on the court. This was close. It could have been a technical foul to be called. Sean Miller standing on the court as Elijah Freeman's trying to go down the sideline. That would have been a massive call in the game right now as Texas is trying to put together a comeback.
6-point game.
A lot of
Swain
time
with the basketball.
If I'm Texas, I'm trying to take a quick two. It's a lot of time left in the game. They're going to give it to you.
Pope fades. Vokatitis draws a foul. Modest Vokatitis shooting 72% from the line in SEC play. Will get 2 shots.
I think that's a good decision right there for Texas. It's a game of possessions now. And you know that they're going to run you off the three-point line. You might be able to find a quick basket at the rim.
4th foul on Keyshawn Murphy. Vokatitis tonight, 5 of 8 from the stripe.
Make or miss. If you're Texas, you're jumping into full court pressure, getting close to foul mode, but you can get a steal, you go for it.
Now Tremont Mark comes into the game with 4 fouls. He has sat for long stretches of this second half for Texas, whose foul issues have been well documented. 23 today against Auburn.
Last time they ran this set, they went to Freeman in the corner. I'd go for the trap.
Pettiford, an excellent free throw shooter with the basketball now. Cross-court pass. Looked like Pope wanted to foul Overton.
Go for the trap.
And now they foul him, but lots of time came off the clock there. Zubin with a studio update.
Just a quick note here, guys, for those of you looking for Houston and TCU. About a minute and a half in Fort Worth. It's currently airing on ESPN News. And when you guys are done at the Jungle, I'll learn a lot about the Jungle tonight from that. That game will be next year on ESPN2.
Thank you very much, Zubin. 26.9 seconds remaining in regulation. There seems to be some discrepancy on perhaps who the foul was on. Tremont Mark, I believe, thought it was on him. Instead, it's Jordan Pope who is fouled out. So he will spend the rest of the game on the bench with 12 points. Mark remains in the game with 4 fouls. Kevin Overton at the line for Auburn. Auburn trailed by as many as 14. Their largest comeback win of the season was 11 against St. John's in the non-conference. Back to a 6-point game. No timeouts for Texas. Both teams in the bonus plus.
Texas got to move quickly.
Lots of time coming off. Weaver lays it in.
Good decision. Take the easy bucket, get right back into your press, and get to the foul.
And again, it'll be Overton going to the line, where he is 6 for 6 tonight. 3rd foul on Kendall Weaver. Remember, early in the year, Auburn had some very heartbreaking losses. You mentioned Houston. We talked about Georgia. They missed 24 free throws in those 2 games. It has been a point of emphasis for Stephen Pearl's club since league play began, and they have shown up time and again, including tonight, Richard, where again they are shooting above 75%.
That's the concentration. And you could see it in the shoot-around that they had this morning as they put a premium on knocking down free throws in pressure situations. And here they are trying to close it out at the charity stripe.
Do you need a 3 if you're Texas? Swain hunting for one. Hammer time! Dalen Swain! Put him on a poster! Did not foul Hall. 3 seconds, 2 seconds. Boy, they're going to count the bucket there, and Texas just let all kinds of time run off. What a night for Keyshawn Hall, his 3rd 30-point performance of SEC play. And that will do it from the Jungle. A 14-point deficit erased. And Auburn has won 4 in a row.
Well, Auburn showed a supreme level of resiliency battling the back. 2 of the elite small forwards in the Southeastern Conference delivered in a big-time showdown, and the Auburn Tigers got it done.